You weren't in your right mind. The deaths were not your fault. You fought the effects of insanity gas. You did your best. Arioch gathered pebbles of truth from the whirlwind of excuses concocted by Newsian battle captains. He gathered that a lot of people had tried to stop him. Like Thomas. He had given the initial warning. Thomas was the wisdom of ancient prophecy, yet everyone on the War Council had dismissed his misgivings. Arioch remembered that part clearly. Then Garrett had made multiple attempts to stop Arioch, so had Janishta, Orla, Chevrael, Vedlor, Pfeiffer, and the pilots of the Cloud Fleet. Garrett again and again. Garrett had nearly died in his failed attempts. None of them were here. Maybe they were too terrified to face the giant after what he had done. Arioch sat on the hastily carpeted floor of an assembly hall beneath Flawless City, the headquarters for an anti-Torth guerrilla resistance operation. More than half of its territories on the planet Nus were now occupied by Torth. Cloud Shadow Metro Hub and other cities were badly damaged from his earthquakes and storms. Battle captains stood between hanging lanterns that made their armored skin shine like beaten gold or bronze. It was stuffy in the room without air conditioning, but Nusians didn't mind heat. Weptalizo crouched nearby. Evangelos had given herself a chair. She was the one who had finally stopped him. Evangelos had tended to Arioch like an angel, bringing him water as he woke up, answering his initial questions in a reassuring tone. He'd gotten a brief summary. Evangelos, it seemed, had overcome her fears and risked her very existence in a one-shot gamble with a Nusian tranquilizer dart. He didn't need Garrett to explain that the transformation of strength had come to pass. He had seen the prophetic painting. "You were self-controlled, despite the neurotoxin," Evangelos said, as if she still needed to soothe him. "Instead of causing a planetary apocalypse, you only destroyed a desert. That required valiant self-control." Valiant, really? Arioch pulled away from her. His favorite Alashani premiers and warriors were dead. Thousands of his people were dead or enslaved. It was all his fault, no matter what excuses people made for the Son of Storms. A Nusian captain rumbled. "Well, he also destroyed a few outposts." "And a city," another one said. Nusians could be counted on to offer the unvarnished truth. Knowledge was worth pain, as the Nusian proverb went. "Even so," Evangelos said, "that much restraint under those conditions, it must have required immense inner strength." The Nusian captains exchanged looks to make sure none of them would dare disagree. Then they rumbled their unanimous support. Arioch did not believe them. How many of their loved ones were dead now because of him? He felt sure that if he could read minds, he would detect seething bitterness beneath their kindness. He needed frank bluntness. He wanted to nudge their brutal honesty to the surface. "How many people did I kill?" Arioch asked. "You should not look at it that way," Evangelos said. "There were deaths, but no one died because of your intent." "It was the Torth," a captain assured him. "No one blames you if they understand what happened," Weptalizo said. Arioch clenched his fists, frustrated by their forgiveness. It had to be false. Why were they afraid to tell him the plain truth? Did they fear he would fly into a towering rage? The Nusian captains looked wary, thorns protruding. Evangelos gripped his arm and gave him a warning look. Arioch followed her glance and saw sand and grit hanging in midair. That was not her doing. He had subconsciously expanded his awareness. Abashed, Arioch reeled it in, making himself as small and meek as possible. Control was vital. Control was everything. He must never allow himself to get angry or the least bit frustrated ever again. Anger was off limits from now until the end of time. He rephrased his question in a reasonable tone. "How many people died?" Evangelos and Weptalizo exchanged looks.